Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video. We are going to cover villains and their character traits, okay? And for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Cece Sunny. I am the writer and independent author of The Curse of Wrath. It is a dark fantasy romance, clean romance, for ages 13 and up. Today we're covering villains. I'm super excited. We'll probably make this 2 videos. I want to just cover the basics of character traits and also villain types that, make these choices or motivations of why they do these things. And the next video, we're going to go more in depth of the big bad villains of tyrants. Now, you could do a whole spiel on tyrants and their motivations and the world of chaos that they control. And we'll do that in the next video, hopefully. This video, we're just going to start right into villains. So number 1 you have on the list is the sympathetic villain. Now, these villains are the ones that they have a tragic backstory, or they have a lot of really bad things that happened to them in their past and kind of molded them and shaped them into who they are now and the way they were raised. And it makes you feel sad and bad for them, but they're still bad people. And I want to put a little disclaimer too, like, just because someone had a bad tragic past doesn't always mean that they're going to turn out bad. It can also be a great inspiration for a good character, that they have a really hard past and had so many hardships to overcome. They even had evil upbringing of family members, but they chose to be different and they chose not to go down that path. So it can go either way, of either your villain and a hero, and it's a fun one of a tragic past and which way you take it, okay? And the second one is number 2, the anti-hero. Now, the easiest and best example I can give you of this is Robin Hood. So it is doing a crime or doing something bad for what is a good thing or what is a good goal. And classic Robin Hood, he steals from the rich. He steals, and that's wrong. It's a crime. It's not right. But he is giving it to the poor and the needy. And it's good to give to the poor and needy, and they truly need it. So it's an anti-hero. They're doing naughty things, but it's for a truly good purpose. Number 3 is more so, it's called an anti-villain, but it's more of a classic villain. So they do almost the same thing as the anti-hero. They're doing bad things to achieve a goal that they believe is good, but it's kind of really more messed up. It's not a good thing that they're doing, but they believe they're doing it. Like Thanos in that whole Marvel universe, he thinks he's doing a good deed and a good goal, but he's really not. And that is the same thing. I really feel like most villains fall into that category. Villains always believe that what they're doing is right and that they're doing a good thing for themselves, for their betterment and their benefit. But it is not good for the majority of other people. But they don't care. So that's what makes them villainous. The next one is more of a character trait that tends to make people do the wrong thing or have a hard time to stand out and do the right thing. Number 4 is cowards or fear. Your cowardice and the fear, it is such a strong emotion. You are not trained. Usually, most average people are not trained to how to confront their fears and control them. Usually when we experience fear, we have 2 reactions: fight, flight, or freeze. It's that simple. And in the military, the Secret Service, the Navy SEALs, they are pushed and tortured almost to the boundaries to confront their fears, to get over them, to experience them, and how to react instead of just sit there and freeze and die. And the same thing can be said for a villain. People will choose sometimes to do the wrong thing, or they'll do whatever it takes to save their own skin. They don't care if they have to throw people under the bus to save themselves. And fear can also, you choose choices that you normally wouldn't choose under normal circumstances. A classic example of this. I don't watch the series. I watch the a little bit of the reels, and I just get like a cap of what happened in the story. I get the spoiler version. I get the whole episode condensed down to like 20 minutes or 15 minutes. I don't mind just listening to spoilers too. It's still storytelling. Anyways, in the Game of Thrones of Greyjoy, we want him. It's so hard because we root for him to just save his adopted sister, just save her and help her and do these things, but he's so terrified and afraid of his abuser and to stand up to him that he can't. And it gives us like the feelings of we want him to break out, we want him to help, we want him to do these things, but he can't overcome his fear, and he chooses to do things that just break his heart. And that is another example of how fear can kind of turn you into the bad guy, even though you don't want to be the bad guy. The fifth one on the list is classic. It is greed, power, and fame. People, they want more money, they want more fame, they want to be popular, and they want control over people, and it just grows. And the reason why it grows and grows more is because it does not give you happiness, lasting happiness and joy. It doesn't come from wealth, power, and money for most people. For some, it does, and they love it, and they just, play in the coins, I guess. So you have the classic greedy people that don't care. They love their gold and the shiny things in their life. And they will sell out people to better themselves or their position. They don't care, and all they care about is money and just being powerful and stuff. So the next one on the list is it's kind of to do with cowardice and fear. And the next one is number 6, peer pressure. The fear of standing out. You just go with the flow. You follow the sheep. You don't have the courage to break out and say, no, I'm not going to do that. And peer pressure and everyone around you it's like a herd mentality. You want to conform and fit in. You don't want to stand out in any bad way. And peer pressure, it'll make you make choices that maybe you don't agree with or don't want to do, but because everyone else is doing it, you conform. And number 7 is kind of to do with peer pressure, but it is duty and honor. And it has to do a lot with you promise to serve a person, you promise to serve your countrymen, your rulers, or your group, your ideals that you believe in, your honor, and your mentally and emotionally what you believe. And then sometimes you are raised to believe it's not bad to kill, it's not bad to do these things. And it's more of like the number 1, the sympathetic villain, the way they were raised. So number 8 is being entitled. Entitlement is a great attribute of villains. They believe that they are owed something, that they deserve it, and they worked hard at that position. They deserve the position at that work or their job, or their parents are royalty and they are raised to take the mantle, and they will be the next in line, and they are entitled to that position and right, but it's stolen away from them. But the way they were raised, they believe they still deserve it, that you don't need to listen to the rules or conform to what other people do, because you are the exception to the rule. You are better. You are entitled. I hope that some of these character traits of villains and people who choose to do the wrong things has really helped you to start thinking about your villains and their motivations of why they do the things that they do. Thank you so much for joining me today and watching my video. I am on Facebook, Goodreads, Amazon, and Pinterest. On Pinterest, I'm under CCSunny33, and there I just like to have my hopes, my dreams, my interests, and also my inspiration. What helps me to get inspired for my stories and cook up new ideas, new characters, and especially new monsters or creatures, new world building. I love fantasy. It's one of my most favorite things. Fantasy and sci-fi is just so much fun to really craft something new, fresh, and exciting. And I'm hoping what inspires me, perhaps it will inspire you. I love to collect people's good advice and people's beautiful artwork. They are so talented, and perhaps it will help you, okay? Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video where we cover tyrants. It's gonna be good. So click and subscribe so you can get alerted when I upload the next video. And I will see you later. Bye.